Hi, I'm JK with J Crease Crafts. I am a nerdy knitter. I sell my stuff on storeenvy.com. The link is below. I also am available on Facebook, Gmail, Twitter, Pinterest, and Blogspot. I wanted to start this YouTube channel with you guys to kind of explain a little bit more about myself, how I got into the knitting, crocheting, and expanding in with that. Show a little bit more of where I pull inspirations from, how I create my patterns a lot, because pretty much I can say like 99.9% of everything I do is original pattern to me. I might see a picture of something, but I'm not pulling patterns from anybody. I don't even like looking at patterns. Everything I do is off the top of my head, and so part of this is I will be explaining a little bit how I do that. A lot of what I plan to do with this channel too is kind of respond to a lot of what's going on in the craft world, more geared towards the knitting or the yarn side of things, and just kind of what I have seen and my response to seeing what does and what works, what doesn't work. Because I find in knitting and crocheting, there's not enough of those kind of videos out there. There's plenty of how to do it, but when you go and try to do it yourself, it's like those how-to fails on Pinterest. They just don't turn out the way you want them to. So I'm going to do some of that stuff for you, and I'm going to kind of do a review on what techniques work for what. A lot of this, too, is just to kind of teach you guys a little bit more about knitting, maybe something that I found a bit harder to find myself to learn about. And overall, just to kind of be fun and be quirky. So I guess this first video, I wanted to start off with how I came into knitting. So I'm 22 years old. I learned how to knit in the 4th grade, so about 8-9 years old. And I actually, I won't name names. I didn't learn from my mother. I didn't learn from my grandmother. Didn't learn from aunt, uncle. No. I learned actually from from accident. I got left behind school a lot in the 4th grade. And again, not naming names, the person who was supposed to be taking care of me always had an excuse. It was falling asleep on the couch, had to work late, this, that, whatever. One of them actually was she had forgotten to pick me up. I remember that day. Basically, lunch ladies got tired of not getting paid for the extra time it took to sit and watch me until hours later she'd come pick me up. So they figured there had to be a club room around one day. So they actually, one of them sat outside and watched me. The other one went through the whole school building looking for a club that was still active. And lo and behold, they found one. And they just threw me in it and walked away. And I remember the supervisor of the club was really, really pissed about it. I remember watching her screaming with the lunch ladies, like, no, this is not a babysitting, this is not daycare, she doesn't belong here, you know, all this sort of stuff. Well, I kind of found out that they dropped me off in what was called the Knitlets Club. And it was a club that purely existed for little girls my age to knit little square patches so the advisor, the special needs teacher running the thing, could stitch them all together to make a baby blanket for the gym teacher who was going to have a baby that year. I remember when she was done arguing, she turned around and looked at me. And she was a big middle-aged woman. She had the cheek jowls going on, the bobbed little hair, and she was just so mad that I was there. And she just looked at me and was like, you gotta learn how to knit? And I kind of just nodded my head, yes. And she's like, damn straight you are. She sat me down. Yeah, this is Detroit Public Schools for you. She sat me down. She handed me some needles. I think they were like a size 10. Yes, I still have them today. Handed me a ball of yarn and started teaching me how to cast on stitches. Come 13 years later, I'm still doing it. And yeah, and that is how I got into knitting, and I've stuck with it since. It's helped me with a lot of tight spots, and now as an adult, I'm going full blown with it. So, yeah. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for your time. I'm sorry if you've already heard the story from just knowing me. Uh, I tend to talk a lot. It's one of my things. So, anyways, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you very much. Keep an eye out for more videos. Please subscribe if you are so kind to do so. If you have any more questions, leave them in the comments or email me or comment on Facebook. I keep an eye on all of these things. Again, thanks for watching. Take care.